having a super fantastic day. I will be walking through a few PowerPoint presentation slides here and then moving on with a application demo of SDSpro. Along the way, we'll go through some examples of real-life situations using our software and go through different options. So without further ado, I'll just move on to the next slideshow. That just basically covers our agenda. We're going to talk about the OSHA HSC 2012, which I'm sure everyone by now has heard of. Just briefly discuss some of the highlights, still some dates to come regarding some of the legislation. Common SDS problems, demonstration of SDSpro, questions and answers, and upcoming webinars. The control panel to the right of your screen for the GoToMeeting has a little toolbar. There is a place towards the bottom with questions. If you have any questions, we'll get those answered at the question and answer session. If there are a lot and we can't get them all answered, definitely we'll get back with you specifically to answer your questions on a one-on-one basis. When does my company need to be compliant with OSHA HSC 2012? It's kind of a trick question, but the answer is right now. But there is a caveat that there is a mix of older MSDSs, which I'll refer to as MSDSs, before pre-HSC 2012, with the new GHS standard SDSs, which are after the legislation in May of 2012. So we'll talk a little bit both back and forth between MSDSs and SDSs, but simply talking about the same type of document, just the different changes have occurred. Training employees on the new label elements and safety data sheets, that was started 12/1/2013. That's ongoing. This is part of the legislation that was amended. It wasn't really changed as far as the training has always been. They're required to train employees on safety labels, but this is the new elements for the GHS and SDS formats. We'll briefly discuss that here in a second. And then the big date is June 1st, 2015. This date's big because this is when the manufacturers will be required to write SDSs versus MSDSs. Right now, if you're dealing with a manufacturer supplier, they can still send you an MSDS that's revised right now with today's date with the old MSDS information and not the GHS information. So that information is available and on the new SDSs, but not on the older MSDSs. So it's a mix of kind of like a puzzle or a pizza, a combination pizza where you have all different types of documents, and there are ways with SDSpro to identify which are your SDSs, where they're being used, and for the ones that aren't converted, be able to track those down and find out who's not giving you the SDSs and where they're at in case you may need to go pull those. One of the misconceptions from a lot of folks calling in to SDSpro is they want to become GHS compliant, and they want to become GHS compliant now like a light switch on and off. And that's simply a fallacy. That just can't happen. You're as good as your weakest link as a chain, and as far as you becoming GHS compliant, it is a process, and that process is right now until June, and even after June 1st, 2015, I would imagine. And that is a matter of you getting SDSs when you can, but realizing that you're not going to just go out and force Sigma Aldrich to make changes when they don't want to. The only thing you have really control over is at some point you'll have control over what vendors you choose to do business with, and that ultimately will be consumer driven and probably be your best chance if you're anxious to get all your GHS SDSs converted. We're finding right now within our services department, about 25% of manufacturers, chemical manufacturers, have actually converted their MSDSs to SDSs. So that's 1 out of 4 documents that we request are actually GHS documents. Of course, the old 80-20 rule or 20-80 rule, most people are going to wait until there's about a year left, and then 80% of the people are going to want the conversion. So it kind of makes sense. Microsoft, when they release a new version of their platform, not everyone typically jumps on it. And why is that? Because not everyone wants to deal with the bugs and all the early issues that come along with an early release. So same with this legislation. There's still some discussion about what's going on, and that will affect some of the minor changes for those who converted early. Outline of GHS training. Again, this is information that's probably more redundant, but you'll need to train on your signal words, GHS pictograms, hazard statements, precautionary statements, and actual safety data sheets themselves. We have some great training tools to help you with this on our website, or if you receive our newsletters, we actually have several training videos that train precisely on these elements right here. I want to pass through a high-level overview of how to retrieve, review, and manage your SDSs. We're not really a cookie-cutter type application where one application fits, or all needs fit one application. We really are flexible and offer a lot of different arrays of combinations of our products and services. So during the demo today, I'm going to be presenting as if you were going to do your own data population and do your own data indexing. I'm going to show you how to do some basic indexing, upload an MSDS, different options, and that sort of thing. If that's something that you're interested in, great. I would definitely get a hold of us for some more support, some more training, or some more assistance with that. If you're looking to have a hands-off application, we certainly can handle that. Just wanted to let everyone be aware that we offer these types of different services in case we don't touch on it today. We offer software that you host internally behind your firewall as a means of a standalone application or on your company intranet across a global platform. We have a SDS SaaS solution where you can rent it on an annual basis and utilize the internet without installing software. We have initial data population. If you want us to help you with your one-time data population, we can surely help you do that. To ongoing SDS services, if you want us to go through and make sure all your SDSs are converted to GHS without getting involved with it, having us do the request, adding your MSDSs and your SDSs, we can certainly handle that. Teleconference and on-site trainings, we do both. Webinars to coming on-site to corporate trainings. On-site chemical inventory assessment. We'll come out to your facilities, your locations, and pull open your drawers, kick open your cabinets, and take our barcode scanner and list all your chemicals so that you can get an accurate chemical inventory to perform your SDS updates. We use a mobile data collector that we built in-house. We offer that to our clients that want to do their own inventory. You want to have your own resources, and this allows you to go collect your own inventory using our mobile data collector, which interacts with the application seamlessly. Data conversions, integrations with ERP type systems, we certainly can help with that. SDS authoring and regulatory services, this is a big growth area of our department, our company here. We author in over 45 different languages and associated country regulations around the world. So if you're a chemical supplier or just have one MSDS or SDS that needs to be converted, or hundreds or thousands, we can help you with that. We have a team of chemistry folks that write the SDSs using proprietary software application and can help you become SDS compliant. And much, much more. So this is just, again, a general idea. Is I'm not able to meet one-on-one with each and every one of you on the webinar today. Wanted to kind of give you a brief synopsis of what it is that we do in case we don't touch on that right during this webinar. Use the following checklist to help you comply with the final rule. Audit your chemicals. Conduct a physical audit of all your chemicals in your workplace. This is one of the most important aspects and probably one of the most overlooked areas of your HAZCOM program. Simply using an MSDS binder that's been used for decades as a source of finding out what you have is not a real good solution because you're updating MSDSs that aren't there. It's not accurate. MSDSs have been pulled out of it, not put back in, and on and on and on. So you need to update your physical inventory annually, and also that will assist you with only updating the MSDSs that need to be updated, not the other 70% of your binder that you no longer have active within your workforce. Confirm your use of workplace labels. When you're out in facilities, you will find bottles of containers of chemicals that will not have labels on them. So this is a great place to utilize SDSpro and print off your secondary container labels. Obtain updated supplier SDSs. So now you have an accurate list of what chemicals you need to update. Now you can actually confidently go out to each manufacturer and request the most current MSDSs for the ones you actively have. And then finally, distribute your supplier SDSs to ensure your chemical users have free, unlimited access and unfettered access to their SDS information. Train your employees. We talked about that. Update your existing hazardous chemical training program to include the new GHS elements and the format of the SDSs. Well, before the GHS hurrah, there was still common MSDS problems. Now there's common SDS problems, with a couple of them eliminated, and we'll talk about that in a second. But still, you'll have SDSs pile up on your desk, and if you're like most safety folks that I've dealt with in over 15 years here at SDSpro, you're probably wearing many hats within your company, and the safety is typically just one of the many, many hats that you wear. So they tend to pile up on your desk, regardlessly of whether you have good intentions or not. Bad quality faxes and paper, you may have through campus mails or just from manufacturers faxing bad quality, coffee stains on your faxes, et cetera, missing MSDSs or missing SDSs. Somebody goes to pull an SDS, uses it, maybe even takes it to the doctor for something they're doing on their skin, and they don't return it. Filing redundancies, multiple MSDSs or SDSs gets updated. WD40 comes out with an update. You have it throughout your organization in 10 binders. You're hoping that you photocopy it 10 times and it gets placed in the right binder at each site and archived appropriately. Outdated SDSs. Different formats make training impossible. We're going to eliminate this one with the formats of GHS, which is awesome. And time-consuming and high costs are all common SDS problems. During the demo here, we'll get right on it. We're going to talk about a simple, easy-to-use interface, how to access 1 million+ SDSs, how to update your SDSs directly from the manufacturer website, which is the best source, how to generate some standard custom reports, talk about backup binders, archiving, and secondary container labels, and then some questions and answers. So I'm going to flip on over here to the application part of our program. There we go. Maybe. All right. Let me back up here. It's not behaving right. Let me just, there we go, to restart that. But this is our web interface here. This is the employee interface. And the employee interface allows your employee to come access the MSDSs here. This is their single point of access within the program. You'll notice up here, let me zoom this in just a hair here. There you go. Hopefully you can see that a little better. At the top here, there's radio buttons. The radio buttons, you can select how you want to search. So in this way, I want to search by product name or synonym. So if I want to search for WD40, I simply type in WD. It's set the words begins with. I click search. It brings back the results down here. I click on WD40 spray, and voila, it brings back the most current MSDS from WD40 that we brought into our system. It's a actual raw data file, raw file, PDF file directly from WD40. It's not a scanned copy. And at this point here, you can go up here, print it off, save it, email it, whatever you want to do. It's yours to do. And you can't lose it, meaning you can't delete it out of the data file as a user. You can just view it, print it, and search. The second way here is by cast number. If I wanted to come in here and search by cast number, I certainly can. You can do that here by just grabbing a cast number. Here, I'll just start with the beginning of it right here, 6474 here. And I want to be able to search by cast number. So what I can do here is select cast number, type in the beginning of it. It's going to search for all cast numbers that begin with this number. Click search. And it comes back. It finds WD40, which we knew it was in there, and the Chevron machine oil has the same chemical in it. As we look at this right here, has the same components in it right there. It's in that highly refined chemicals there. And that's the same, so it lists them right here, and all you have to do is you can also click on locations to see the different locations, building 2, 3, and 6, or where it's being used. So that's a pretty neat search. You can also search by ingredient under advanced search and some different searches there. Manufacturer name, this is a real handy search. If you're dealing with companies like Henkel Loctite that have a lot of numbers in their product name searches, this makes it a lot simpler if you forget whether you're looking for 499 adhesive or 497 Loctite. If you just search by manufacturer name, you'll get results that just come back with that manufacturer's chemicals that you have. And then you can realize, oh, it was 404 QuickSet. Again, clicking on the link and launches the file right there. Again, you can file, print it, whatever you want to do at this point. If you want to print off a secondary label at this point for this product, you can. This is still a GHS product. There's a couple different options. One of them is this is a 6-up label here, and this is requires a color printer, but it's done on Avery print. So you can use an Avery print label and create this product here. Or if you want to use the Label Master, these are pre-printed labels. And you just run them through a standard black ink printer. And you can print these off en masse if you have a secondary workstation where you keep your secondary containers. Or if it's just onesie-twosies, you can just say, I want to print 3 or 4 or 3 or 6 and just print one off at a time. Again, these can be ordered from labelmaster.com. These are pre-printed, a little more industrial, sturdy, or you can use Avery labels from any stationery store. GHS labels are available as well. We'll cover that when we look at a GHS document here in a second. My favorite search here is product name sounds like. If I come in here and search for acetone, and I completely botched up the word acetone. I left off the couple vowels. I put in the wrong vowel, and I spelt it with a S instead of a C. And let's see if let me respell this here even worse. And see if I can still get a result here. Acetone, click search. And it's phonetic sounding, so however you type it in, notice I, again, really botched up the spelling. We're still able to bring back the proper, the right one down here at the bottom. So we look here, let me just look do a wildcard search. That's going to list all your SDSs. There's a column here with flags. You'll notice here, as we scroll down, you'll see a globe. And what that globe means is that's a GHS document. So this product right here, iron sulfate, is an actual GHS document. So your employees know, before they even click on it, that this is a GHS document. So they can immediately go into the training mode of the new information that you've been training on. You click on the iron sulfate. It's going to look, section 1 is going to have the names there. Not going to be terribly different. Until you get down to section 2, you start noticing the first things you're going to notice most is the visuals here, the pictograms, the signal words, hazard statements, and precautionary statements. And of course, section 2 and 3 are flip-flopped from the standard ANSI format. And that's the major difference right there in section 2. So this is a GHS SDS, and it is identified right there on the left before it's even clicked on, which is great. Another way you can search is by using our location scheme. You can create locations in any fashion that you want. In the demo here, we've created 4 top-level locations: main plant LA, Ontario, main plant corporate, and main plant New York. If I click on main plant LA, it brings out 3 locations, warehouse A, B, and C, and all the inventory with it, you'll notice at the bottom follows for warehouse A, or sorry, for main plant LA. If I click on warehouse C, then I have 1 of 10, and if I click on building 6, you'll see right there it's 1 of 4. So these are the different location schemes. There's no limit to how far you can go down. You can go down to 1 location or none, or you can go down to 17, 20, doesn't matter, locations. At some point, though, you're micromanaging, and it makes sense at some point to have a realistic cutoff. Typically, 2 to 3 is a good limit. You can edit your inventory. So here I'm in building 6. And as I said earlier, you're as a safety officer or safety coordinator, you're limited to where you can be and how many hats you can wear. So what we have here is called the Web Inventory Manager. This allows you help at your different facilities. So if you have somebody that's in LA at warehouse C in building 6, you can assign somebody at that location to be your Web Inventory Manager. That is password protected. So if I click on Edit Inventory, and I just type in, I'll type in the password that they have or they would have, would be their unique password. They would only edit their location. You'll see a little different screen here. This is types quantity stuff. So if you're doing Tier 2 reporting, they can actually track that for you. I come in here and click Add New, and I want to add, for instance, let's say I want to add iron sulfate. Now they can only add products that are already in the system. So these are products that are already been approved and used at your facility somewhere else. So if I click iron, it's going to come back. And sulfate here, let me, I'm picking the wrong here. Let me just type the WD40. 1 result, that's already there. Okay. We try gas. Okay, another gas, that's there as well. So I can try acetone, go 0 for 3 here. So here's acetone. So I found this product. I want to add it to my location. All I have to do is highlight it. They can fill in the number of containers, size of containers. This information is good if you're doing Tier 2 reporting. If it's not, then you wouldn't need to add this information. You just need to add the actual product. You can actually turn these fields off. And all you need to do now is go down here and select Add Selected Products. And it just added that acetone to your list. And so now when I go back here to main plant, building 4, you'll see acetone was added. When they're done with the inventory, this can be an annual inventory. That person that's assigned can mark location reviewed, so you'll be able to see who's been doing their inventory and not. A real slick tool, easy to use. You can't really delete. You can remove information, but all they're doing is putting an end date on the inventory record. They're not really deleting the product record at all. Okay, and finally, GHS label information. If I want to create a GHS label, no problem. I can come right in here to iron sulfate I was looking at earlier. Click on Label. Go to GHS Workplace Label. And this is the same 6-up label here. And here is again, you can put these by your secondary transfer station or print these off one at a time as needed. Real simple, easy to use. Again, this is anyone can print these off. Could be a janitor, or it could be again at your stations, and designated folks can print these off as required. If you're looking for a product that's not there, for instance, you come into the system, you type search, and it comes back, no products found. This can happen if, for instance, Johnny goes out and is working on a project and finds that he's out of green spray paint. He runs out to Ace Hardware, picks it up, picks up a can of spray paint, brings it back, forgets the protocol, doesn't get the SDS sheet that's required, finishes up the project, puts the paint back in the flammable cabinet like he should, but again, forgets the SDS sheet. A couple months later, Frank comes along, gets a little overspray on a similar project on his finger, and wants an SDS to look at it for first aid and maybe what he should have wore for PPEs beforehand. But nonetheless, it's not an emergency. Frank does not want to call if emergency chem control or poison control. This right here that I have highlighted is definable, meaning you can change that to whatever you want. That can be your pager number, a local poison control number, or whatever SOPs that you guys have for that type of emergency can be written right here. In this case here, Frank just wants the SDS, but it's not in the system because you don't know it's in the system, which is a common challenge. So Frank can actually request this very simply online through a simple request form. Just come in here, type in the product name and the manufacturer name, the name of the person doing the request, and then that person's email so that that person can be notified when that request has been completed. There's nothing else that's required, although sometimes more information is going to help. Developing a rash on finger, not in emergency, but would like ASAP, something like that. That there, if you know the supplier information, you can put that, or catalog number. Once the person's done, all Frank has to do is submit. And as soon as Frank submits that, you're going to get notified, or whomever's the administrators of the system will be notified that that product needs to be added to the application. And this is actually a really handy feature that was developed a long time ago by the request, I believe it was by the Mayo Clinic back in the late 90s. And what we found was, again, that your safety folks are usually thin throughout the organization. You can't be necessarily everywhere to garner when a new product is bought or if there's missing SDSs. So who else besides the employees out there on the floors of your work facilities to determine and to help you keep your inventory current? So this feature right here can be offered with some type of incentive. Whoever finds the most SDSs without a document will receive some type of bonus or safety award or something like that. Again, there's been a lot of success using it, and ultimately your employees are happy. They're using the system, which you're happy because you paid for it. Secondly, you're happy because you're finding them SDSs that you normally wouldn't know didn't exist, and help you meet the letter of the OSHA requirements. So that's, again, a neat feature right there. There's some twerks and stuff you can make here on the interfaces. We can discuss more of that if you have any questions, more on a one-on-one approach. That's basically the interface right there. There is a help file at the bottom that can launch into some videos or PowerPoints and a few other features here, but that's the main portion of the interface for employees. As far as an administrator, we're going to move over here to the administrative interface. And this administrative interface is going to be used by a few key people within your organization to help, or to manage your SDSs, whether that's adding or whether that's running reports and stuff like that. So the first thing you see here is the health of your system with this pie chart. You can't help but notice that the clown circle with the colors, and you'll notice there's no green. There's a little bit of red and some yellow and some orange. This is a fairly typical of customers database right here, although I would expect a few SDSs to be green. There's only about 22 here in the sample file that we have here for the demo. But nonetheless, you definitely would start worrying if you get 25%, 30% or higher of your MSDSs are red. Then definitely you're in one of those SDS quote challenge problems and need to probably update your database. Recently added products, then over here to the right are some commonly used buttons. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to actually download an SDS right from the manufacturer's website. If I click on companies, I'm going to go out to a company's manufacturer or to a manufacturer's website. So I click on companies, list all records. I'm going to go to WD40 and click launch. That's going to take me right to WD40.com and go to USA. And I want to bring in MultiPurpose Oil. I'm just going to right-click mouse and choose Copy Link Location. If you use an Explorer, then it's going to say Copy Shortcut, or you can click on the link here and actually copy the URL at the top. So again, I just right-click, copy link location, and you're done. So now you just copy that link to the clipboard, which now what you're going to do is we're going to go into the wizard. The data entry wizard allows you to configure the different fields so that you have consistency in the way you enter data. So the old database's rule of garbage in, garbage out, GIGO, that's the same here with this database. I'm going to use the premium wizard, but you'll want to decide as your company's SOP what data fields that you want to use so that you have consistency within the database. So the first thing we do here with the wizard is we're going to acquire the SDS, and I'm going to acquire it from the internet. I'm going to click next. It automatically pastes in that URL right there. I click download. It's going to download the SDS, and it's into the system right now. Now at this point, it's not on the internet. It's downloaded into your data file in your local drive in your local database. I click view because I'm going to need to get the information off the sheet. And the first thing I need to get is the revision date, which is February 12th or February 2012. So I go back here, and 02/01/12 is the date, and I'm going to choose next. Now, if this was a GHS document, I would flag it, but it's not. Next, and I'm just going to type in here MultiPurpose Oil. It assigns it a unique ID number. Synonyms, so you can assign this different common names that maybe your folks out in the facilities call it, old squeaky, or maybe 1234T, part number, whatever it is, you can add it as a synonym. And then of course, if you want to use the HMIS rating for the label information, you can get that here at the bottom, and that's 110. So you just come in here and just add it quickly, 110. We're entering information here as if I was going to use it for Tier 2 reporting. This may be exactly what you're looking for, or if you're not going to do Tier 2 reporting, then you wouldn't enter all this information, but you can probably use more of the basic wizard that you can create. Here, for this information, I'm going to go to Section 2. And Section 2 is going to show me the CAS number information, so I'm simply just going to come in here and copy this one, top one here. Copy that CAS number, paste it. Okay, it's not in the system, so I just come in here and can paste the name in there. We also have what we call the master chemical index, which as soon as you type in the CAS number, it automatically flags all these different fields, and more state flags as well. So if you're doing Tier 2 reporting, please ask about the master chemical index. It's similar to the LOLI data, if you've heard of that, only a lot cheaper. We're only collecting data that you need for SARA reporting, not other stuff that's not pertinent. I hit save, and then I can add that, and you just add the other product as well. Next, you're just assigning it now, just like you're photocopying. You're just adding this product. You'll notice it turns bold. So it's easy to add this product to multiple areas across the country, across the platform. So building 1 and building 2. So I just added it to about 8 locations. Done. I get to review it, accept, and now I'm back ready to go again. So while I'm already here at WD40, if there's any other new products I need to add, now would be a good chance, a good opportunity since I'm here. If I'm done, then I move on. Now, when I say move on, entering the additional data is going to be very similar. It's either going to be from the internet, like we just did, from your hard disk file. So maybe you get an email from a manufacturer or a fax copy that you convert to a PDF. You can scan it to your hard disk, so you can come to your go out to my messy desktop here and grab a file real quick. Okay. So now I have a PDF. Put in the revision date. Everything to the right is going to be the same as if you got it off the internet. So once you acquire the document, whether it's from the internet, whether it's from your hard disk, or whether you scan it right into the system, yeah, sure, you can scan right in. If you have a scanner right there, you can take your hard copy and scan it right in to the system. And yes, some manufacturers, for some reason, Still don't have electronic MSDSs. It's hard to believe. It's frustrating, but that's just the way it is. You can certainly scan in as a last case result right here. Once it's brought in, you're going to index it consistently no matter what document type you have. The other way to bring it in is what we call MSDS provider, and that is a source of about 1.2 million MSDSs, 1.2 million that we maintain. And so if I type in here Bondo, do a search, it's going to look for all different names of Bondo. It's going to come back with a lot. I can just come down here in my list until I find the one that I want. Once I find it, I click Add. It adds it into the database, pulls a lot of information off for me that I don't have to even type. For instance, you'll notice when it comes back in here in a second, the revision date's already there. I go next. It already puts in the product name. If you want to add your own synonyms or the ratings here, you can add that at that point. The company name and information is there, all done for you. If you want to add ingredient names, you can right here, or go right on here to the next and just add it to the locations that you need, except you're done. So that was very quick. Just added 2 products, going through a demo here. It's very simple, very easy, very repetitive to add them, but once they're added, you have all these sites now can access them, whereas before, if you did this manually, you'd still be at the photocopy machine. So if I come in here and type in multi-purpose for multi-purpose oil, it's going to come back here. Here's the oil. Click on the link. Just as quickly as that product is ready to view for your employees, ready to go, and you're on your way. Now, a few other things here. So that's how you add products to SDSpro, to SDSpro. The other way here we're going to go through is how to maintain your MSDSs. So once you have your MSDSs in the system, you may ask, okay, that's great, but how can SDSpro help me with that? Very simply, we have an automated update feature. That update feature is based off of internet updates and the URLs. What I mean here is if I go over here to update from internet, you'll notice here you'll see all the downloads that we did at the demo. These are live products. You'll see some that are more like soda limes listed 3 times. That's not a mistake. That's because we have one in English, one in French, and one in Spanish. It's the same product record, which is pretty slick. If you need multi-language, we got it. So these are the URLs. To update these MSDSs, these SDSs, all you need to do is announce to everyone that you're going to be busy for the next week updating your SDSs. Close your door, come in, put your feet up on your desk, click Update from Internet, and let SDSpro do the work for you. What it's going to do is it's going to slider back out to each of those URLs. It's going to determine if file's been changed or not. If it's changed, it's going to throw it over here to the Updated Documents tab. If it hasn't changed, it'll let you know in the status report. If there's a broken link, importantly, it's going to let you know that that link's been broken. You need to go reestablish that link. So there's about 3 or 4 different status updates. When it's been changed, does it change it automatically? No. What it does is it throws it over here for your pending review, and you need to come in here as a safety officer at your company and make sure that's the right document. It's very simple to do. Now, can you come in here and just choose Accept? Yes. Do we recommend it? No. There's liability involved as well. You want to make sure that that product that you have is the right one. And by reviewing like we're going to do here in a second, takes just a second, easy to do. So I'm going to launch the original right now. What it means by original is this is the MSDS that your employees have access to right now. That's April 5th, 2012. Now, if I were to ask here, take a webinar hands and ask everyone if they think that's a current MSDS, I would gather that a lot of people go, yeah, it's a fairly current MSDS, but yet our system found there's a newer one out there. So we're going to go check to make sure that what it says it found is correct. When I click Launch here, this is actually launching the one that it says it's newer, and lo and behold, it's right there, September 28th, 2012. So this is about 6 months newer, September 28th, 2012. So I just need to come in here, put in the revision date, choose Accept, and you're done. So now you've just updated that SDS right there with a newer MSDS. Now I'm going to run this live just because I don't like slideshows. This is already pre-set up in the demo. But if I want to come in here and I want to, I'll keep this short so we're contains Krylon. Okay, so I'm just going to update this Krylon right here. Again, the one we just updated. I'm going to do this live. Update from internet, update one document. What it's going to do now is it's going to spider out to the internet. It's going to verify whether or not that document's been updated. Well, it did find a newer one. So that one that we updated from September 28th, it's saying there's even a newer one. So again, I'm going to go through this routine. Launch the original. Here it is. This is September 28th, 2012. Again, what appears to be a current MSDS, but let's see what SDSpro or SDSpro found. Launch it. Wow, July 23rd, 2013. So that's now, we come in here, July 23rd, 13. So just in a matter of minutes, we updated, and all you have to do is accept. It's updated the MSDS with the most current one and archived it for replacing. The archives, speaking of archives, now that's pretty slick. I know you guys out there probably aren't jumping up and down, but that is an update tool right there that should make everyone's life a lot easier. Coming in here, as far as the update from internet, where do those go? How do the archives work? Let's go look at that archive for that Krylon paint. So here's the Krylon paint right here. And I'm going to move this down here so we can see the tabs. If I go into the document tabs, here's the current document right here. This is 723. If I say show archives, and there's a button down here, I'm going to click. Now it's going to show all the archives. Archive, September 29th, 2007, April 5th, 2012, September 28th, 2012. If you want this one from 7 years ago, 6 years ago, all you have to do is highlight it, click View, and just like that, it brings up this old MSDS. Looks like it was printed off an old dot matrix machine right there. But that's how easy it is to go get your old archives. It makes it very simple and easy to track, yet your employees have access. If I'm an employee now and I want Krylon paint, click Krylon. Guess what? I have the most current MSDS directly from the manufacturer, and I have to ask, how difficult was that? All you had to do is review, click, and it was instantly distributed to your employees just like that. No photocopying, no nonsense, just very straightforward. All right, keeping this short here, we're about out of time. We want to show you how to create a binder. If you want to create a backup binder, or if you're using a standalone system, and this will be one of your main, you're still using binders, that's fine with Classic. Click a binder. You highlight the location that you want to create the binder for. So if I want to create a binder for a master binder for all of main plant LA, I can. Or maybe I just want to create a binder for a building that doesn't have internet access, and I want to have a hard copy there, or an outrigging house. That's fine as well. Just for simplicity here, I'm going to create a master binder for main plant LA. Next, next. Create binder. What it's doing right now is actually creating an index binder for all the products at main plant LA. This can be used to burn a electronic binder on a USB stick or DVD, whatever media you want. Could be on your desktop, your network. So it's going to be a PDF file, or can be also a hyperlink file, either one. Or you can print the paper out. So if I create the binder, launch the binder, it creates this nice hyperlink section. If I want to look for soda lime, I just click on S for soda lime. Come here, click on the hyperlink from soda lime. It goes and pulls out the right SDS. That's pretty slick. Again, this is a backup system to most of our applications. If you're using our standalone Classic, then this could be a main feature here as far as how it's presented electronically. But all you need to do here is, I'm going to go up to my messy desktop. Here's the folder right here. I'm waving it around in the middle right there. That folder contains all the information you need to make that file work anywhere in the world. All you need to take this folder, drop it on top of a USB stick, and you're off to the races. Hand it out to your local fire departments, emergency responses. and they immediately have a thumb drive of all the chemicals you have on your workplace. You can update that as often as you want, or you can provide passive out Halloween candy, whatever you want to do. If you want to print this off as a binder, which is really slick, you'll notice over here there are these numbers, and you may ask, well, what are these numbers for? When you print off this binder, at the top right-hand corner of each SDS, it's going to print off the number associated with it here in the index. So each MSDS or SDS is independent of the other, as you know, but with this, when it makes it into a file here, it makes it into a very useful binder. If you have a binder of a couple hundred MSDSs and you're trying to find iron sulfate, but there's no earmarks in there, it makes it almost impossible. Here, all you have to do is print it off at the top of each page. If you're looking for iron sulfate, it's going to be the number 12 in bold in the right-hand corner. So it's going to be very easy, just like a phone book, to identify your binder when you're looking for a certain product. Very slick, very used. It definitely blows away anything else any of our competitors have guaranteed. Next, just to kind of walk around the application here. We're definitely running out of time. Appreciate everyone's patience here. We do have a lot of different reports. I can't go into all of them right now. These are canned reports. These are chemical reports, SARA reports, Department of Homeland Security reports. If you're in Pennsylvania and Texas, we have electronic reports, hazard substance reports. Best of all, we have the ad hoc report editor, which allows you to create your own report without using Crystal reports. It's all built within the application, and you can create and save your own reports and run them at a little time. You don't need us to develop any high-end, expensive reports for you. You could do it all on your own. Of course, we're there to help if you have certain reports and need assistance with it. You have a full-time dedicated account manager that can assist you with that as well. Again, the last thing here I want to look at is just the chemicals. I mentioned the chemical inventory table, or the master chemical index. This is the chemical table here. Just to give you an idea here, here's a single CAS number, 123399. When you purchase the master chemical index, all this information here, TPQs, this is 500, all the U.S. lists, the TSCA list, hazardous substance list, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, all the state lists, the international lists, WMIS disclosed. You can also create your own definable fields. Any of that information is automatically added when you just type in the CAS number. You don't have to go looking for it. That's updated quarterly on a CD that you can either request USB stick or available for download. That's it as far as the demo. There's a lot more to this application, but this should have given everyone a quick overview of how to use it as an employee and what it would take as an administrator to keep this going. We have other features like chemical authorization, workflow, and stuff like that that go along with the application. Going back here to my slideshow, I might have to launch back into it here. Want to leave you with just a few things. And I'm going to go backwards here because it's going to be quicker than going forward since it conked out on me. We're at questions and answers. And so if there's any questions here, I think we're kind of running out of time. So I'd like to do, if you have questions, I will get back to you one-on-one. If you type them in, I'll get back to you with an email one-on-one and get your questions answered. What's next? Request or download a 60-day trial, no obligation. Receive a 100% fully featured version of SDSpro. Don't believe in slideshows? Then that's great. Either do we. Ours is a real working version that you can pass off to your administrators. All your data is stored, even after trial expiration. If you decide to purchase it, all that work you did in the demo can still be kept and used moving forward. You can go to our webinars. You can go to our website, www.sdspro.com. Under events, you can sign up for our monthly webinars. We do this type of live webinar twice a month, or you can also get a recording of it as well. And many other types of webinars, from regulatory to user-specific webinars. My contact information, going to leave with you guys so you have that information as well. My name is Mark Miller. I am an SDS specialist. I've been here a long time, and want to make sure that we get all your questions answered. My phone number is 907-334-4209. That's my direct line. or you can reach me at toll-free 888-673-7776, extension 209. My email is mmiller@SDSpro, and our website is www.sdspro.com. I do appreciate everyone's time today. I hope I was able to answer some preliminary questions, go over a brief overview of the application, and make some sense to help you move your decision along. Or if you're looking for more help, please contact us, and we'll get you some more training or information to you as needed. I wish everyone a super fantastic day. Thank you very much, and we'll talk at you guys later. Bye-bye.